going on? It's Fist, bringing it straight from my heart from me to you, because that is what I do. Titanfall drops tonight. Unsure if people streaming. And I don't know, people are hung up on it. They're like, a lot of people are just saying they're just going to play it as a for now game. I don't know, are you going to buy it this weekend? Are you buying it tonight? When are you buying this game? Are you even bothered to buy this game? You know, I understand. Maybe you're on the PS4 and you're going to completely miss this experience. Do you care? You probably not. Are you going to wait and probably experience it on the 360? Probably because you went from 360 to the PS4 and you're probably going to wait until then to experience it? Probably so. But I don't really care one way or the other. You know, I'm just going to say, look, have fun playing the game. I know a lot of people are just like, some people don't want to accept it. Some people don't want to make the change. Some people don't like Call of Duty. They don't want to go to this game and make the change. Some people just don't want to make the change, period. I didn't want to make if I never had the PS4, I wouldn't even realize the change. Like, I wouldn't realize the change in Killzone. I wouldn't realize the change in Blacklight Retribution. Like, you know, I talked to the developer on Blacklight, and he's like, why would I make Call of Duty? You know, and maybe you should play my game and understand it more deeply than saying, why would I make the game like Call of Duty? I mean, he didn't say that to me directly, but indirectly, that's the vibe that I got from it. And once I got to playing this game, I understand how his game is by itself and what it is, and it's how it's different, and you should play it. I mean, not to play Titanfall and say that it's a flash in the pan game, it's going to last for a couple months. Yeah, probably it is. But to say not to play it in the freedom that it has is just like, it's just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you kill yourself over Call of Duty? I mean, Call of Duty, here's the thing, we're a creature of habits. Once you do something and you eat your certain breakfast a certain way, you wake up at a certain time, you're like a damn machine. You just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's what we do. We're human beings. So when Titanfall comes, you got to learn something new. And realistically speaking, this is when the transition of the next generation of console players, or whatever you want to call them, they just move on. The people who are from like last generation. And the sad part about these games is when the curve becomes harder and harder on games is when you start to lose more and more casual players, and you develop this tribal type mentality where you just have a group of hardcore people who have nothing to do with their lives but play video games, or get paid to play video games, or critics who play video games, or kids who play video games. That's who has time to play the game. So you're stuck with that. You're giving up 7 years of your time playing Call of Duty, and you spent time to play the game. And now you've had a vested interest of sweat equity, time equity. And then you go to this game, and you're like, oh, it sucks. Of course you're going to say it sucks. Because now you have to relearn a new game, and you have to spend your time. And lastly, time is important in life. Where do you spend your time? Do you spend your time wasting your time on a new game, and then it's making your friends and your girlfriend and whatever else around you suffer because you think you're missing out on something? Newsflash, you're not. At the end of the day, all the people that you've decided to take your time away from, you'll never get that back. Ever. So the question is this a game that you want to invest your time into? I mean, if you're a little kid, you got all the time in the world. You ain't got a car. You're not going nowhere. You have no bills to pay. You're basically a unaccounted for social security number in our system that does nothing but leeches. So, and people say I'm arrogant and blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't give a shit. When you grow up and you start to understand life, you know, the honesty is the best policy. Unfortunately, we live in a society that's governed by over-sensationalized media that makes everything PC impossible to communicate without somebody getting offended. That's the unfortunate part that drives the mentality. You know, sensationalized media controls the young minds, and basically that's what makes trends happen. You don't see old people or middle-aged people or the people in 20. They don't got time for this shit. Like, it's trending on Twitter because that's who's on Twitter. It's trending on YouTube because that's who's on YouTube. If you took the mass populace who are doing things with their lives, they don't have time for that. So you got to think about who are the people making that stuff trend in your timeline or in your view, or or should you be in that view? I find it fascinating, and people just come to me and say, you're a douchebag, you're arrogant, blah 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 blah. Look, man, if you think honesty is being an arrogant douchebag, I'm sorry. Just stop watching my videos, stop following me, stop commenting me, because you haven't grown up yet. You don't get life. You're just making comments without the whole picture. If you play a game, it's not religion. You play a game because it's fun and entertaining. You have a vested interest in it because you spend time playing it. And then after you spend time playing it, you feel like the developers owe you something. They don't owe you something because you invested time. It's not because of that. They owe you something because you pay for the game and you're a patron. And just like everything else in life, and you're a patron, they should respect you because you spent your hard-earned money on their product. And that's the reason you should have a voice in gaming. Not because I spent 3, 5, 6, 7 years playing your game. You should listen to me. They should listen to everybody. They spent money on the game. Of course we can't listen to everybody, so we just gotta put everything in what we can that meets the deadlines. That shouldn't be the case either. You should listen to the people who spend their money and have passion for your game. So, I don't know. Is this game going to be a hit? Probably so, because everybody's tired of Call of Duty not listening to patrons who pay for the game. Is it worth your time to learn a new game? Is the other question. Well, you really don't have a choice if you're a fucking money whore on YouTube. You gotta learn this game, because if you're not gonna get paid off of fucking Call of Duty anymore. That fucking train is done. So yeah, investing time if you're a money whore, sure, play this game. Invest this time if you're a fan of next-gen gameplay and not so next-gen graphics. Sure, buy the game. If you want to see this game and you're not really sure about everything, whether you should buy it before this weekend for the Xbox One because there's no other fucking games on that system, yeah, watch my Twitch stream tonight. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not going to fuck around. Look, I don't fucking get paid to fly out and jack everybody off. I'm going to tell you the real deal. You want to hear more about this shit and listen to me bitch and rant or whatever you think I'm a dickhead douchebag with arrogant attitude? Come to my link below, twitch.tv/FistLive.tv/FistLive. See you there. Get the fuck out of here.